unfortunately, I spend too much time debunking some of the junk that's out there.
We thank
Um,
you for that, though.
it's really easy to write a headline that's very provocative about real estate and the housing market and just grab one stat.
Right.
You can see by what we went through here, there's 1,000 different things you can pull out of here. I could pull one
Absolutely.
stat out of here and write a whole story about how the sky is falling and have the data to back it up because I use it out of context or I don't
Mm-hmm.
give the additional context. And that happens all the time in
All
real
the
estate.
time.
Help, I need some guidance. Help, selling and buying. Help, I need some real estate. Help.
Welcome to Albuquerque Real Estate Talk, episode 539. It is mid-May? June. I'm
Yeah,
totally
18th.
lost. You know what it is? I've been looking at stats for May for the last 2 weeks, so I've still got May in my brain.
Oh, yeah, we've moved on. We're in
we're
June
moved on.
now. Yep.
June 2025. Corey,
Hey,
thanks for joining me today.
this is going to be fun. I'm going to learn a lot right now.
No Tracy this week. So, and what we're going to do today, Tracy would rather not do, let's just say. Okay. So we're going to nerd out a little bit here today. I am going to go through market stats and how to look at real estate market stats. I've got a bunch of stuff on our website that people can go to and look at anytime they want to see what's going on in the real estate market from a statistical standpoint. Now I'm going to go through it. I'm going to show what it is, how to interpret it, how to understand it. And your job, Corey, is to tell me when it makes absolutely no sense at all or if it makes perfect sense.
Okay, perfect. And I can ask questions and you're not going to giggle at me. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. No.
Okay.
No. What do they say? There's no stupid questions, only stupid people that ask questions.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but
something like that. I had an old boss that used to say that. He said, "There's no stupid questions," and then you go, "Well, there's stupid people that ask questions." Yeah, it's true. I guess the question itself isn't stupid, but anyway. In Corey Bristow, you are a realtor extraordinaire on the team, and you've helped many people. You've got lots of 5-star testimonials from people that have worked with you. So if somebody wants to call you, get a hold of you direct, how do they do that?
505-350-3148. Give me a call.
And our team is Venturi Realty Group at Real Broker, and our number is 505-448-8888. Okay, Sam, let's do it. Let's go to screen share. We're going to jump right in here, and we're going to walk through this. I'm going to go through each of these pages that are on our website, talk about what we're looking at for these statistics, and then also how to interpret them and what does it mean.
Okay.
And I've got it broken down a whole bunch of different ways. So if you go to our website at Welcome Home ABQ, you're going to find a tab that says Market. And if you go down the list there, you'll see you've got Market Update, Weekly Tracker, Long-Term, Home Values, Area Trends. It goes on and on, right? So I'm gonna go through that. So we're going to start right here. This page is a monthly snapshot of what's going on in the current real estate market in Albuquerque compared to the last 2 years. The other thing that I've done on this particular page is also break it down by price range.
Okay.
So when we're looking at this, if you see this light blue bar here, this is the number. In this case, we're looking at the closed sales data. So this is the number of homes that sold and closed in the greater Albuquerque area in May. It was 893. A year ago, it was 962. It was 7% less homes sold. So you can see that down here. And if you're ever just wondering what we're looking at the entire MSA down here at the bottom, if you can see it. So that's 4 counties. Oh, that's one other thing I should share. The MSA is a metropolitan statistical area. And in New Mexico, there's 3 of them. There's Central New Mexico here.
Okay.
And that's Albuquerque. So it's Bernalillo, Sandoval, Valencia, Torrance.
Okay.
Okay. So that's our metro area. But there's also one for Santa Fe, and there's also one for the Farmington area, 4 Corners.
Okay.
Getting way off track. But so in this one on closed sales, we're looking at May. And you can see this year versus last year, the percent change. However, you can also see it broken down by price range. So I've got homes $250,000 or less, which is slim pickings these days.
Very,
Very
very.
slim
It's
pickings. There
hard.
were 84 that closed. That's 10% less than a year ago. If we look at this price range, the sweet spot these days, that 250 to 400, right? I mean,
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
and that's what you're seeing, right? That's where the bulk of the sales are these days. That's the price range that people are looking for. You get under
Absolutely.
250, not a whole lot of great houses in that price range.
Or fixer-uppers.
Yeah, you're right.
Honey-do list.
Yeah, I don't need more of that. And then we also have the 4 to 6, and then we have the 600 and above. And 600 and above, just for references, right now that's considered luxury
Yes.
in our market.
Yes.
So that's the
Yes.
top 10% of all the homes that sell in our market. So that's what this page has. And then we've got it broken down by a bunch of different things. We've got active inventory, the number of homes on the market. And this is within the story, at least right now, is the number of homes on the market. It's 23% more than a year ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we look at it by price range, that 250,000 and under is down by 5%. No
Yep.
surprise. There's
Yep.
just not a whole lot of homes in that price range these days. But you can see in that high end up 26% over 600,000. So again, active homes for sale, that's that one. Pending, that's the number of homes that got a contract. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these. I just want to break these down. But this is what happened in the MLS in that month. And in this case, it was May of 25. Number of homes coming on the market. This has been a story for a few years, is not as many people are listing their homes. And you can see the stair step here over the last 3 years. More people are putting their homes on the market.
I love this page.
Yeah.
Because it is exciting for me to go and show new homes, and you don't have to actually say, okay, we need to write an offer right now.
Yeah.
Unless it's in between that.
Well,
3 to
yeah,
6.
obviously you lived through
Mm-hmm.
20, 21, 22.
Yes.
Or half of 22, I should say, and then everything changed
I know.
mid-22. But that was insanity.
I know. It was a good year for me.
Well, it's a good year. I mean, like competing with 20 other offers if you're on the buy
Absolutely.
side, or having to deal with 20 offers if you're on the seller side.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But we did it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Month supply of inventory. I just want to break this down so people understand what this is. This is a great statistic to explain supply versus demand.
Okay.
It's not just supply, it's not just demand, it's the ratio. So what we're looking at here, this says for all price ranges, we have 2.5 months supply. That means if the same number of homes sell and no more homes come on the market, in 2.5 months, there'll be 0 homes on the market. Okay.
Got it.
This is a measurement, again, it's that ratio between buy and sell, or supply and demand. And the thing that's always interesting about this is that you break it down by price range. Again, that luxury market, 600 and above, it's almost 5 months supply. That is considered, there's a general rule that 5 months supply is a balanced market.
Okay.
You get over
I just
5
learned
months
something
supply,
new. Okay.
then you're in a buyer's market,
Okay.
meaning there's more sellers than there are buyers.
Right.
So you advantage buyers if you get over 5 months. They're right now in the luxury. What's interesting, Corey, you saw this right now. We've seen some luxury homes that have had multiple offers, right?
Oh, yes.
I was
Very much
talking to
so.
a broker yesterday, and he was talking about how, he's got homes on the market in that 400 price range, sweet houses, but then he's got something over $1 million, and it's just like, so many people out there looking for that. So there's this interesting thing. There are still a lot of luxury buyers out there right now.
And it really feels if the house has been loved and kept up and the attention has been paid attention to the house, it goes faster. The houses that need more things, it feels like to me in that upper price range.
Yeah, I think that's probably true in all price ranges,
Yeah.
right? That wasn't true in 21.
No,
Everything sold.
that's right.
It didn't matter what, I mean,
Without
it sounds awful.
inspections.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even want to go
Anyway,
there.
okay. So month supply is a really interesting thing. No surprise you get under 250,000. There's like a month supply. you and that two to four price range is still 1.7 months supply. So that's still considered a seller's market.
Very much so, yes.
So if people ask me all the time, are we in a buyer's market, seller's market? I say, well, what market are you in? What's your price range? What part of town are you in? How it really I was going to say it's the it depends answer, but I don't like that answer because I like to be accurate.
Let me pull out the graph here.
Yeah,
Let's talk.
Another thing here, days on market. This is again another way to gauge demand.
Okay.
So how long is it taking for homes to sell? So on. So on average in May, the homes that closed were 36 days on the market. Thing is, you have to take into account when you're looking at this stat, these are homes that closed in May, which means these are homes that went under contract in March, April, probably.
Exactly.
So that's how long they were on the market in March and April, not in May.
Right.
So you just have to back it up and get a sense of that. So that's that one. I also have median days on market. Remember average and median?
2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say the difference between average and median. So average is the total
Okay.
divided by the number of days. Right. That's your average. Median is the middle of all the homes that closed in May. How many were the middle between all that took longer and how long that took less, right?
Okay.
So 14 days, that means half the homes went under contract in 14 days in the ones that closed in May.
I love that.
Yeah. You know what's interesting to look at this at 250,000 and below. This is a side note just about the current market. It's up 375% from 4 days a year ago to 19 days this year. You know what that tells me? Is that those $250,000 houses are project houses and they're not for everybody. So they're taking longer to sell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about this one? You probably don't even know this one exists. Foot traffic.
Tell me more.
So this one, so we talk about closed sales. Okay, it tells us what happened in the past. We talk about pending sales. It tells us like what's happening right now. You know, how many homes are under contract. Foot traffic is the step before that, is how many people are out looking at homes.
So how many showings
Exactly.
per house?
Exactly. So in May of this year, there were 4.7 showings per property.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah. On average, 4.7. Now, down from 5.7 a year ago.
Okay.
And 7.5 in 23. And we know that, right, Corey? There's less shoppers out there right now.
Very true.
But at the same time, the same number of homes are pending and closing this year than they were last year.
I think the shoppers are a little bit more serious and yes, focused.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Yeah. And then pricing. Lots of different ways to look at pricing. This is closed pricing. In this case, we're looking at median price per square foot for homes that sold. So in this case, that's 3% higher than last year. So this year it was 214 for all homes, and it was 208 a year ago. Okay.
Can I ask this?
Yeah.
3%, isn't that healthy?
That's steady. Now, long-term average for Albuquerque is closer to 4.
Okay.
Okay. That's through all the ups and downs and everything, right? So we had in 21, I think it was 17%.
Wow.
In 1 year.
Okay, so that would be scary, but
that's
this
called
right
unhealthy.
Here is healthy. This is healthy.
This is steady.
Buy a house.
Well, you know, that Albuquerque has usually followed let me rephrase it. Albuquerque has not been susceptible to the ups and downs that a lot of other markets get. Okay. So like Florida's going through some pain right now.
Yes, I've heard that.
Phoenix is just up and down. But Phoenix is just that way. It's always been that way for whatever reason. Right. Albuquerque has just been a much more steady housing market. And we're bucking the trend nationally right now, May 2025. We're one of the few markets that, well, I'm going to say we're one of the few markets that are projected to still see market appreciation over the next year based on a couple different forecasts. A lot of markets may not. So you don't know. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here? We also have price per square foot average. just a different way to look at it. And then we have the dreaded median price. I want to talk about median price real quick. Median price is the middle price of all the homes that closed.
Okay.
In May, it was 358,990. Okay. That is down slightly, 0.3%. Okay. That's for both attached and detached homes. It's actually down about 1% for detached homes only.
Okay.
Now, does that mean that prices went down? That home prices, let me rephrase it. Does that mean home values, and I'm using that word on purpose, dropped from May last year to this year?
I don't feel like they have dropped. I don't feel like the values have dropped at all.
No.
I think that last year people were still writing offers that were 10, 15,000 over list price. So that could affect, am I wrong? This
There's
median?
something else. What happened in May of this year versus May of last year? The homes are over 100 foot smaller than a year ago.
Oh,
When I first
okay.
saw this stat, and of course that's what I do first of
All
the month,
day.
I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Why did this happen? Because this is unusual.
Okay. So they're
So
smaller.
I went back and pulled, okay, how big are the homes? The homes they're 100 foot smaller.
And that
Because you
changes
go back here
everything.
and you say price per square foot is up 2 or 3%, but yet median price is down.
Yes.
So
Right.
anyway, just an interesting side note there. And this is the nerdy stuff that I love. So, it's like
Go ahead, Tego. I'm going to get a drink of
trying to
coffee.
figure out the why. And then, but average price is up 2.8%. Again, it's a different average is hard to use as well. So anyway, wow. Okay. That went through a lot there. Okay.
It's a lot of colors.
Let's go to the next one. This is my favorite piece of data that I have. What this tracks, there's a lot here. So just give me a minute to go through it. What we're looking at, for the most part, are homes that are actually on the market. So this isn't telling us what happened in the past, meaning like closed sales last month. It's telling us in real time or weekly
Mm-hmm.
what's going on with housing inventory.
Okay.
First and foremost on this page, we have this thing called Market Action Index. And what you'll find as you come to this page, and all of these I have broken down by year, so you can get a comparison year over year. So for example, if I hover right here, we're in June 13th, though this is just per last week, okay? In 2025, the Market Action Index is 37. Now, what does that mean? Market Action Index is just an algorithm it's like a market hotness, right? So is it a buyer's market, seller's market?
Okay.
So we're actually in one of the slower markets we've seen in a long time right now, mid-June 2025. This is the supply demand. Did I lose
Why
you?
am I not feeling this in my personal business? Because I'm looking at your stat, but I don't feel, yeah, keep going.
No. That is an excellent question.
Okay.
Statistics are statistics.
Okay.
They paint a big picture of an entire market and what's going on. That doesn't mean people aren't buying and selling homes, right? We'll look at it here in a sec. There were 250 or so homes that went under contract last week in Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm.
So it's happening. It's just statistically, it's slower than it's been.
Okay.
So there's still people out there, and some people in our business aren't as busy. We've stayed very busy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and it's great. So anyway, this is again the real-time inventory. If we hover down here on 2025, for example, it'll bring up it'll highlight the line, and so you can see here. So the yellow or gold line here is 2019. That's the number of homes that were on the market in this week of 2019. There were 2,177 homes. This year it's 1,845. So we're like 25 or so percent above last year, but we're still about 25% or so below that last normal year, as we say,
Normal.
2019. That's why I have 2019 on a lot of these charts, because that gives us our check. You look at some of these years. What year? When was this? This was the bottom here. This was 2022. In March, there were less than 500 homes on the market.
Felt that.
Yeah, it was.
We all felt that.
It was nutty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're definitely coming back to more of a normal, what I would call market. New listings, the number of new homes that got listed. So 200 homes got listed last week. You can see the black line again. We've basically been trending up above the last 3 years all the way through. The number of homes relisted. This one's interesting. It gives you a sense of how many homes have fallen off the market, or basically went off the market, came back on the market for whatever reason. We are trending a little bit above the nutty years, but we're still below 2019 and 2020, for example. So there are more homes coming back on the market, but not as much. Listings absorbed, that's homes that went off the market, just how many went off the market for whatever reason. But I also measure the pending, the number of homes that went, I'm sorry, this is different. Two different numbers here. Let me show you this first. New pending count. This is a really good indicator of how many homes went under are going off the market. Well, let me rephrase that. This is a good indicator of demand. That's a better way to put it. So what it's saying is this is the number of homes that went under contract in that week. So these are just single family detached. So it is, what is this? Is this weekly? Yeah, this is weekly. There was 222, 204, 224, 202 per week.
Okay. I
And
can
so,
follow that.
yeah, so that's, again, it's an indicator of just kind of like the market activity. And like you said, yes, it feels busy for you because you're helping a lot of those 202 people.
Yeah.
Um,
Very lucky.
Total number of pending. I love this. This shows us how many homes are currently under contract compared to previous years. So this year there's 1,190 currently pending versus 1,141 last year. So slightly more.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the other stat, there's more inventory too. So
Right.
that's why the supply demand ratio is a little bit off or lower than last. Days on market for homes on the market. I want to get down
No,
to
go
yeah.
back. There you
Okay.
go. Average days on the market. I talk about this all the time. So at this particular moment, how many days are on the market for
So what this one tracks, before I showed you the days on market for closed sales, and there was 36.
Okay.
Those are the homes that actually closed. These are homes that are currently on the market, or another way to say it, these are unsold homes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Of all the homes that are currently on the market unsold, the average days on market for those is 79. And that's the highest we've seen since, well, we got to go back to 2020 to see higher.
So I think that people need to understand that your house might sit a little bit longer than it did. So 2 weeks isn't a big deal. 3 weeks, the numbers show.
We got used to from 2020 through even into 2022, toward the end of 2022, we got used to if it's not an offer in a week, there's something wrong.
And I've seen some of the most beautiful homes. One I saw yesterday, it started out at $1 million, and then it gone down, down, down. I'm telling you, that thing is beautiful in Placitas. Beautiful. I could not believe it was still on the market.
Do you think that
300 days.
Do you think it got that stigma of why isn't it sold?
I do. I
Yeah, and
really
that can happen.
do.
That can happen if you start too high on the price.
Mhm.
You end up with these long days on market, and then you get to the right price, and people are going, "What's wrong with this house? Why didn't it sell?"
Exactly. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with the house. The right person just hadn't walked in.
Yeah, well, and then now people are questioning. It's like, why didn't somebody else buy it already?
Right.
Yeah,
No,
see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, derailed.
So anyway, no, that's fine. Let's just talk about prices real quick. I've got a bunch of different ways to look at prices. I can look at what the median price is for homes that are listed for sale. Currently, of all the homes on the market, it's 449,500 versus 439,000 a year ago, or basically 440 a year ago. So the actual median list prices dropped from 1 year ago, but that's list price for median. List price per square foot is up just a smidge.
This is what we were just talking about, 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But this is list price. So the other thing I have, and this is some new data, and this by far is the most insightful piece I have on what's going to happen with home prices in the future. Because what this is showing us let's look at it too. We've got two different ways to look at it. One, we have median pending price.
Mm-hmm.
We have median pending price per square foot. So let's look at this one. This is median pending price per square foot. Of all the homes that are currently under contract, it's $218 per square foot was the list price.
Okay.
Okay. A year ago it was $212. Okay, so that's whatever, $6, $2 or 3%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really looking into the future of what closed prices are going to be a month or two from now. This is my
I
crystal
love
ball on
this.
home
I
prices.
love this.
Yeah. So when people go, well, what's going to happen with the prices in the future? I said, well, I can pretty much tell you the next 2 to 3 months. After that, I don't know. Things could
Right.
change. But I pretty much know right now that we're going to see 2 or 3% appreciation here in the next few months, over last year. When I say appreciation, year over year. Yeah.
And they say we don't have a crystal ball. Right here,
This
Tego
is it.
Venturi. Boom.
That's it. Couple other things, and like median list price of new listings. Okay, how are people feeling about the market when they put their home on the market? And honestly, right now they're feeling pretty optimistic because last week of the homes that went on the market, it's the highest we've ever seen. So
Yeah.
but the other side of that is how many homes have decreased their sale price?
I feel
And we are
that.
almost at for this time of year, we're at
Mhm.
like an all-time high.
Really?
44% this week of all the homes that are unsold, say it that way, or on the market, however you want to say it, 44% of them have reduced price.
Do you feel like it's because the sellers were wanting more than the house was worth and they were just shooting it out there and in hopes? Or is the market just telling us, no, we're not
Well,
there
let
yet?
me ask you, what do you think?
Oh, I think that the sellers are really wanting a certain number. And when they don't get it, I think they're deflated a little bit. And then they're like, okay, I guess I'll go down.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's over optimistic. Again, we're in a very different market than we've been for 4 years. And it's again, more back to normal. And if
Yes.
you get too aggressive on the list price, this is what happens.
And
Yeah.
then it's going to sit, and then people are going to do that same question, what's wrong with this house?
Yeah, and we talk about this in our listing, Corey, when we're meeting with people, is
Absolutely.
aspirational pricing
Mm-hmm.
versus market pricing versus auction pricing, right? So there's
Absolutely.
3 different strategies.
Absolutely.
And I think too many people are going with the aspirational pricing strategy,
Right.
which means try it high, see what happens. If it don't get offers, then reduce price. And so we're just seeing a lot more price reductions this year than we've seen in a long time. That doesn't mean prices are dropping. I see people post this stat and saying, "Oh, prices are reducing." That means list prices are getting reduced. That means prices are crashing. It's like, no, that's
No.
not what that means. That means
No.
list prices are going down or
Yeah.
getting reduced. That doesn't mean overall housing prices are
Right.
going down.
Right.
So, yeah, anyway, another one to just get a sense of how sellers are feeling about the market right now. And I got some other kind of interesting nerdy stuff here about properties, for example, like the average square foot of all the homes on the market in Albuquerque right now is 2,323 square feet. And of the ones that are under contract, it's 2050, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, 2049. And if you look at the age of all the homes on the market, again, these are active, they are 31 years old in Albuquerque area. And that's down a little bit. And I've seen that nationally as well because there's more new construction being sold as a percentage of total sales. In fact, I'm doing a presentation on new construction here in a few weeks. And I was just next week, pulling some data on that, is that, yeah, the age of homes that are selling has dropped quite a bit in the last year just because the mix of resale versus new, there's
Right.
just more new. So it's
Mhm.
driving the average up. So anyway, okay, so there's that one. I'm going to go through a couple more of these really quick. Sam, how are we doing on time here? What are we at? Okay. Let me just a couple of things. I just want to whip through the rest of these so that people can see you're available. I went deep on the monthly. I went deep on the weekly. But let's just look at a couple other things. Again, when we look at stats, you have to look at them all a bunch of different ways so you can get a big picture. So this one, for example, is long term. So we're looking all the way back to 2003. And in this particular case, we're looking at average sale price. And I've got it broken out by single family detached and single family attached. Every single month, all the way back to 2003. Of course, you can see the run up to 2007. You can see the drop back to 2012, and then the steady up until 2020. And then we were off like a rocket up until 2022. And that's for every one of these stats. Median sale price, average price per square foot, total sales, or this is the number of homes for sale. Let's just pause here for a second. We've been talking about the number of homes. The number of homes on the market has increased substantially since the last couple of years, right? So we're at 1,901 single family detached based on this particular stat through the end of May. Look at how many homes were on the market let's look at May of 2008. There were 6,200 homes on the market.
Wow.
And prices really started to shift mid 2007. And so, where's that May? I hovered it. It's right there. There were 5,500 homes. We had that huge run up in inventory from the beginning, or basically the end of 2000. Well, really, it started at the beginning of 2006, and we just kept climbing and climbing and climbing with the number of homes on the market. And it actually took until we got to about 5,000 homes on the market before prices started to shift. The supply demand ratio had gotten so out of whack. That's just a note. That's a side note. We got a long way to go is my point. Okay. Long term. Okay, we'll skip that. A couple other things. Let's look. Home value trends. I've got two charts on here that track actual home price indexes. And what these are tracking is overall home trends, how much they changed from a year ago. So I've got it marked. So I've got the one from FHFA, which is Fannie and Freddie Mac. Okay.
Right.
They do a quarterly. Now it's not an actual dollar value or price of home. It's an index.
Okay.
And the best way to look at it is how does it compare from a year ago? And that's what this green bar is. So from quarter one to quarter one, from 24 to 25, home values went up 3.4% in the Albuquerque area. Okay. That was from them. Another way to look at it is Zillow. Zillow has a monthly stat. And what Zillow does is they track the value of every single property in a real estate market.
Mm-hmm.
And they give basically, they call it what's the value of a typical home in the Albuquerque area, for example. And in this case, for May, they say it's $346,731.
Yeah, I agree
That's
with
about
that.
right.
Yes, I
That's-
totally agree.
And that's not just homes that sold. These are homes, just all the homes. So they're using their algorithm, their estimate to figure it out. And then year over year change in this particular case is just over 2%. So when people ask me what's going on, I say, well, we're somewhere in the 2-3% range appreciation wise. Yeah. And so that's that one. What else do we have here? We've got area trends. We've got localized. This one, if you really want to go deep on a certain area. So let's say you live down in 87102 and you want to see what's happening in that particular part of town. You can come over here and we get median list price. We get list price of new listings. We get list price per square foot. We've got average days on market for homes on the market, median, so on, even median rent for that particular area, the number of homes that are on the sale or for sale in that particular zip code. So a lot of data there, and then long-term trends
That feels more
too.
simplified for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I can understand that pretty easy.
This is a good one for just, it's more localized instead of big picture, which we've been looking at with a lot of these.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really dig into what's going on in your particular part of town.
And those neighbors, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that.
And then there's one other one that goes along that same line, and it's basically the same. Oops, wrong one. Let me go to area trend. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Okay, this one, market profiles. This one is each zip code in our area shows you what the list prices are, how many homes on the market, how long they've been on the market. So you get a really sense of what's happening in each particular zip code. And then you can scroll into these more if so. Did I hurt your
So
brain?
much information. Yes, I have a few too many numbers in my head. Wow, Tego, is this all you do in your mind all day?
No.
Just number,
Yeah.
number, number,
Yeah.
number,
Well,
yeah.
I'm always trying to figure out, okay, what is going to happen in the real estate?
Right.
Where are we at? Where are we going? What does it look like? Is it healthy? Is it unhealthy? What do buyers need to know? What do sellers need to know?
How do we best help our clients?
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, I spend too much time debunking some of the junk that's out there.
Thank you for that, though.
It's really easy to write a headline that's very provocative about real estate and the housing market and just grab one stat.
Right.
You can see by what we went through here, there's 1,000 different things you can pull out of here. I could pull one
Absolutely.
stat out of here and write a whole story about how the sky is falling and have the data to back it up because I use it out of context or I don't
Mhm.
give the additional context. And that happens all the time in
All
real
the
estate.
time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
This
mean,
is incredible. Thank you for just sitting down and going over all of this. I know I'm not
thank you for putting up with me and
this
listening.
is a whole lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for listening. A little longer than normal. If you've got any questions about real estate in the Albuquerque
Yes.
area, we're here to help. We're the Venturi Realty Group of Real Broker. Our office is 505-263. Oops, I got the wrong number. I was giving you my cell phone number.
448.
505-448-8888. And Corey, I was thinking cell phone number because somebody wants to get a hold of you and talk
You
real
can
estate
always
with
call me.
buying and selling. How do
That's
they get a hold of
right.
you?
505-350-3148.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. We appreciate you. And please click subscribe. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with real estate in the Albuquerque area and New Mexico, and of course, across the entire country. Have a great one.